What is going on, everybody? It is Luke Beller with the Sideline Scoop, and so today I want to break down the upcoming game of the Green Bay Packers versus the Jacksonville Jaguars. But right before I get into the content today, I would really appreciate if you guys could drop a like down below because it helps like the YouTube algorithm. The video gets boosted out to more people. So if you guys would do that, that would be awesome. And if you guys enjoy this content, make sure you subscribe and turn on your post notifications. So if we take a look at this Packers team, one thing that Packers have been dealing with a lot this season is, of course, all these different kinds of injuries, especially on the offensive side of the ball. And so considering that's what we've been dealing with, lots of players are starting to come back slowly. It seems like Allen Lazard should be back this week. Matt LaFleur talked about the past couple of days how he's hopeful that Lazard will be back. And so considering the Packers have been playing with Devontae Adams, obviously, best receiver, probably one of the best receivers in the NFL. Outside of him, there's been lots of inconsistency with these other wide receivers. Of course, Marquez Valdes-Scantling had that great game last week versus the 49ers with 2 catches for 2 touchdowns, but he still has been inconsistent at times. So getting Allen Lazard back on this offense is going to be very impactful. I just think overall for this Packers offense. And also, if we take a look at, Aaron Jones missed a few games. He was back last week, got like 20 touches versus the 49ers, so he'll be back. And Jamal Williams last week was out because he was considered a high contact risk because he was close to A.J. Dillon, but he has been removed from that reserve list, so he'll be back. So Aaron Jones will be there. Jamal Williams will be there. So basically, this offense is going to be much healthier coming into this game versus the Jacksonville Jaguars. Also, David Bakhtiari, hopefully he will get to play because he's missed the past few games so far this season. So coming into this game, the Packers have had all of their running backs, receivers, and tight ends only in 2 games this season, and those were the first 2 games of this season where we put up 40-plus points and 450 yards in both of those games. So considering that could happen this week versus the Jacksonville Jaguars, who are very, very bad when it comes to pretty much everything, especially on the defensive side of the ball, I really expect this Packers offense to put up lots and lots and lots of yards. So right now, if we take a look at the Jacksonville Jaguars defense, of course, they are probably the worst team, one of the worst teams in the NFL. They're 34st in scoring defense, allowing 30.9 points per game, and they are 31st in yards allowed, allowing 418 yards per game. And right now, if you take a look at 5 of their last 6 games, they have allowed 30-plus points. So they allowed 39 to the Chargers, 34 to the Lions, 30 to the Texans, 33 to the Bengals, and 31 to the Dolphins. So looking at some of those games and some of those teams that they were playing, the Packers are much, much better than probably almost all of those teams. And right now, the Packers being the 3rd best scoring offense in the NFL, averaging 31.6 points per game, you would just expect the Packers are going to put up points in this game. Honestly, I think the Packers could put up 40-plus points in this game. Considering Aaron Rodgers has been on fire recently, he has 24 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, 117.5 passer rating, and especially with all these other weapons coming back, this could be a complete blowout. That's honestly what I think is going to happen. And I'm pretty sure also that Vegas has the Packers like very, very highly favored in this game, which they should be. I really do think that the Packers are just going to completely obliterate this Jaguars team. But of course, the Packers can't take any team lightly because I think that's like if you take a look at the Steelers versus the Cowboys last week, of course, the Cowboys have been pretty bad and the Steelers have been undefeated. They still are undefeated, but they came into that game and, people thought they would just completely obliterate the Cowboys. And, of course, that was a very close game. The Cowboys almost came back, in those last few plays. So I think the Packers just have to come in here, keep their head in the right place, just come out and play like they have been playing. And I honestly think this offense is just going to get the job done. So now taking a look at what the Jaguars are going to be bringing on the offensive side of the ball. So Gardner Minshew had been playing the majority of the season, but it came out apparently that he had been hiding a hand injury. Apparently he had a fractured hand, and he'd been playing that way for 2 weeks. So last week they benched him and brought in rookie quarterback who they drafted in the 6th round of 2020, quarterback Jake Luton. I think that's how you say his name. But he actually had a great game last week versus the Texans. He had 304 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, and a 68.4 completion percentage. And so when we take a look at where the Jaguars rank up when it comes to scoring offense, they are 26th, only averaging 22.4 points per game, and they lost their 7th straight game last week to the Houston Texans. So I'm honestly curious to see just how well Jake Luton will be able to play against this Packers defense, because of course this Packers defense has had a couple pretty bad games against certain teams when it comes to defending the run, allowing 150-plus yards to the Vikings and the Buccaneers in our 2 losses this season. And so coming to this game, one thing to watch out for is their running back, James Robinson. He has been very good. He's at 10th in the NFL, averaging 72.5 rushing yards per game. So I think we cannot take James Robinson lightly because he is a great young running back in the NFL. and he actually surpassed Philip Lindsay for the most scrimmage yards by an undrafted rookie through the first 9 weeks in an NFL season in NFL history. So we definitely need to watch out for James Robinson in this game. But if we take a look at his best 3 games this season, in those games he had 102 rushing yards, 119 rushing yards, and 99 rushing yards. And in all those games, the Jaguars finished the game within 10 points of the opposing team. So considering I really do believe the Packers are going to come up here and put up points fast against this, pretty bad Jaguars defense, I don't think James Robinson is going to really get as many carries just because when you're losing by that much, you can't just run the ball. You got to start passing the ball. So I don't think he is going to be, that big of a factor in the running game because I do think the Packers will get off to a fast lead. But still, nonetheless, we got to watch out for him and we need to, bring some pressure on Jake Luton because we saw last week when the Packers brought pressure against Nick Mullins on the 49ers, that caused some problems. Of course, he did that one interception, and Zadarius Smith got that one, fumble sack recovery. And so I think if the Packers can do that, I think we should be pretty good against this Jaguars offense. And one area where the Packers have been lacking is when it comes to takeaways. We are currently 30th in takeaways in the NFL, but hopefully we can repeat last week, get a couple takeaways, get a couple turnovers, and Aaron Rodgers can take care of business with this Packers offense. And so my score prediction for this game is going to be Packers 41, Jaguars 17. I think the Packers are going to put up 40-plus points against this Jaguars defense. That's what I think is going to happen in this game. But that's going to be all for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, remember to drop a like on the video down below. And I'd be curious to hear your guys' score prediction. Let me know in the comments down below what you think the score is going to be, who you think is going to win. Let me know your thoughts down below. But thank you guys as always for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next video.